especially when we're talking about the younger generation of traders, Zoomers, and things like that. It has to be instantaneous.
My setup back then was I only had a physical phone, actual physical.
Me too. Yeah.
And if you're and friends and we're going on a walk and you want to have a steak and I want to have a sushi, and as a result we are eating sushi I sold. This is a lifestyle. They put it inside your head. This is like 360 service. We're not just saying that we are there and that you try to reach us. We help you.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of FinanceFeeds Podcast. If you like our content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and post comments on our videos. Today's conversation is going to be all about communication. My guest today is Arthur Fedoruk, who is CEO of Calleague. Arthur, thanks for joining us today.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
I think it's quite a busy Thursday today in Limassol, but I'm glad that we took the time to talk.
Exactly. We have a lot of things to discuss, I believe.
So I wanted to jump right in and kind of actually say a little bit of a personal story of mine. I ran a call center many years ago in New York for a major Forex broker. And it was a call center that was focused on a specific region of the world, which was not anywhere close to New York, basically time difference and all that. But the way I remember it is sort of everything was very fragmented, very rudimentary. So when you are speaking to potential clients, whether they're demo clients or you're speaking to people who are trading the live markets, a lot of time it was, okay, I've got someone on line 1, I've got someone on line 2. And then I've got a few computer screens in front of me, but I have to be using separate systems to check the client account, look at the trading, log in or be logged into the CRM system separately. That was many years ago. Today is 2026. I wanted to ask you, what's, you being the professional in this space, what's your perception of what's going on now? Is it still very, very fragmented? Or have we made leaps and bounds? Because when I look around sort of as a layperson, I'm like, oh, there's AI chatbots.
Yeah.
There's a lot of automation. At least a lot of people are talking about it at conferences or fintechs are advertising it. Kind of what's going on in the space today? Is it still manual workflows, or is it, a lot of automation and things have improved?
The world shifted and the industry shifted as well. This is a very important thing to understand because, yes, the brokers still face a number of problems, number of things that they can be and needs to be improved. But honestly, it all breaks down to three main things. It still all starts with the fragmentation. Now brokers run CRMs, dialers, a number of dialers. They run different kind of messengers. Still do things on spreadsheets. And is it the best, the most efficient way? No, not really. Now agents become agents, those retention conversion agents, they are actually becoming just like a layer, they're not doing properly their jobs because they're spending too much time on something that they should not be spending. This is the thing. And, running a number of tools at the same time. Imagine, an agent sitting and having 8 different tabs opened in the browser.
Yeah.
Exactly. This is exactly what's going on. And it's definitely should be changed. Now, the second thing that I believe is important is to point out that there's a metric called speed to lead, right? So basically, by the time some elite registers or a retention, or a client, let's say, signs up for something, it's not even a matter of minutes, it's a matter of seconds until they're actually being contacted. This is what a speed to lead is, and this is actually what identifies what is a 20% conversion rate and what is the 2% conversion rate.
Interesting.
That's very, very important. So all of these metrics should also be finalized. And what's the absolute bottleneck, I would say, in the industry right now is the answer rate, is the control of the answer rate. Brokers got used to the fact that they're now only observing what's going on.
Okay.
But they cannot manage it yet. Now. The thing is that how it looks in reality is basically, I'm a conversion agent, let's say, and I'm calling through a specific dialers, through a specific SIP trunks and numbers, right? And for whatever reason, this is world, everything happens and lines down. or something's not going properly. What do? I go to my floor manager, I complain, the floor manager calls to the provider, half of the shift is over. And that's why having backups, having the possibility, having a unified workspace is essential now. This is something that we should consider all the time while speaking about the performance for the brokerage. Success overall. That's the idea.
I think you just threw in a lot of very important points, and I have lots of follow-up questions for you. I completely understand if basically, that agent there is sitting there, he's still got 10 tabs open on his computer. But at the same time, if I look at companies that provide CRM systems, a lot of the time what's advertised is all in one. To me, when I think about that, okay, there's probably integrations with voice over IP systems,
Yes,
et cetera, right? And so shouldn't all of that be today sort of pre-built or built in? And at the same time, I guess my question is, are many brokers still today sort of reluctant to kind of go that route? Not automation, but integration, so that there doesn't need to be 8 tabs. It could be 3 tabs, right?
sure. Yeah.
Because I think you made a very important point. These people spend more time doing operational work. They're clicking, they're literally, if you time it, they're spending minutes and hours a day, not actually talking to people and trying to engage people to open accounts or teach them how to trade. They're actually just on their computer clicking buttons and shifting, let's say, siphoning information from one place to another. Am I correct in understanding?
You are absolutely correct. This is something that, like I said, needs to be improved because you also now covered a couple of things. The current solutions that we have in the market, they're advanced also. There's a number of players that, like almost every broker, I would say, is using for one reason or another. But the way that they are integrated is, I wouldn't say incorrect. I would say is not the most efficient one, because by the time we say integration, what we usually mean is basically having a click to call, having possibility to call a lead or a client from CRM itself. Okay, that's one way to go. Or, like having a bunch of clients picked, and then being sent to the auto dialer.
Okay.
Right, so that they one by one they're being called. But this is not everything. I mean, there are ways of how it can be worked better. What I'm trying to say is it's still, like the CRM is still the fundament. It all starts with the CRM, right? And the idea is that CRM is it's a very complex, but it's a very beautiful system to run a business, there can be no broker without the CRM.
Agreed.
And the idea is that it's a system built for back office operators. It's a system built for retention agents, right? Why? Because as a retention agent, before I actually make a call, what do? I can go to a specific client page, right? I can see that this KYC, I can see his trading history. So I have something, I have a history, I have arguments on by the time I'm going to call you if you're a lead, right? I'm going to, hi, you're trading very good. Let's see, there's a blah, blah, blah. And another point is, but let's take a look at the conversion. Is it really the most efficient way how the conversion agent can be, how the setup of a conversion agent can be?
Sure.
The thing is that they don't have any trading history, don't have any KYC. You're absolutely correct on the fact when you're saying that they need to engage, they need to speak to as many clients as they can and engage to do a specific thing. And that is why I believe that this is now a new world for conversion portals. We got to understand that the industry is shifting and the conversion agents don't care about all this stuff. They need a simplified way. They need a simplified flow. It's all about simplicity, automation. They don't need to think of, like switching tabs, switching tools, switching soft phones. Everything should be in one place. That's the idea. This is exactly what we're trying to do. This is exactly where we're going.
I think you also mentioned a very important point, which is a very interesting metric, I think. Time to lead, right? That you mentioned,
Speed to lead,
or speed to lead. My apologies. It's very interesting to me because, again, with a lot of my guests, I discuss the fact that, especially when we're talking about the younger generation of traders, Zoomers, and things like that, it has to be instantaneous.
Exactly.
Right? And then that's a whole other topic in terms of usability and everything like that. What you're presenting to the user to try to get them to convert into a lead. But I think it's a very interesting metric, which I don't think many companies or many brokerages actually focus on today. There's advertising. Let's say it's traditional advertising, right? Like direct advertising. There's a landing page, and then they mess around with how many the colors on that page, the buttons, and the how many pieces of information they collect. Right, the less the better, because theoretically the user will actually convert into a lead. But it's actually very interesting that you mentioned that this is all intertwined with, again, like you said, the onboarding agents, retention agents, the CRM, and also ultimately the sales department as a whole, right? I mean, the performance of the business, right?
You see, that's funny, but if we take a look at the funnel, right?
Yeah.
It all starts with the communicate with any kind of. It starts with the talk, right? So it's either you're calling, you're sending an email, you're texting WhatsApp. It doesn't matter. It starts here. But if I enter a room full of different brokers, CFOs, and I ask them, what's the LTV? What is the customer acquisition cost? They're gonna tell me the answer straight away.
Yeah.
Because in the formula of success of calculating the performance, these are the parameters that are being triggered, they are being calculated. But at the same time, they're lacking information, they're lacking metrics on the from the communicational side. You see, the answer rate, conversion rate, speed to lead. This is something that yet is not being considered and should definitely be changed, because this is the start. This is the fundament. This is where it all begins with, like, and that's why, like my projection that soon enough in the upcoming years, this is something that definitely will be having more
focus.
More, we can say more focus. Something that is going to be actually considered by the time we're calculating the performance,
because things are moving at the speed of light, basically, right? In our industry, they're just moving at the speed of light. So, if we say that brokers are using multi-channel communications, right? It's not just phone and email anymore and chat. Like in my days, it was live chat, or let's say the chat is closed if there's no rep, and you leave a message, right?
Yeah.
But today, it's push notifications, it's text messages, and again, it's AI bots and things like that. Are kind of, how has the I guess what's the proper word, the responsibility of call centers changed in the last 5 to 10 years? It seems like on the one hand they're becoming more important, because there's more touch points with the, let's say, user, demo user, and live customer. Or let's say in terms of retention, you're trying to get someone back into the market, right? You're trying to get an old customer, you're trying to win them back, right? So they have a lot more responsibility today, right? In terms of, well, because they're tied into sales and they're tied into performance. But at the same time, it's kind of like, how can they fulfill that responsibility if things are so fragmented a lot of the time?
True.
I guess that's my question, because to me, it seems like in my day, it's called support. It's called customer support. That's what it was called. I don't know if it's still called that way in the brokerage where I used to work, right? I don't know. But today it seems like that's not a fitting title for a department. It's not customer support anymore. It's, I don't know, customer communications. But then you have all of these channels, you have all of this data. How do you, kind of, how are companies dealing with this? Are they even paying attention to this? Or are they sort of like, oh yeah, it's customer support?
No. Look, first of all, I think this is a great question, and I really want to have a proper answer to it. And you was pointing out some records, how it was done like 10 years ago. The industry shifted. Let's widen the time frame to 15 years. This was the exact time when I got my first job. This was the first time when I started as we didn't have no conversion or retention agents back then. It was called a portfolio manager, and it was a combination of I had to find clients, I had to make sure that they are becoming clients, to convert them, and I was like making sure that I'm like a success manager as well.
It's all very familiar to me, Arthur.
Exactly, but what's the point? What was my setup back then was I only had a physical phone. Like actual physical.
Me too. Yeah.
And papers just like here, actually, like A4 list of papers with the name and the number on it. That's it. We had no CRM, no dialer, nothing, For the first like half year or even a year, we didn't even have call recordings, right? And by the time a manager wanted to actually, like track how am I doing, like I'm sitting calling to somebody.
He would listen in, right?
He would come up, like, and it's like, it's not the most pleasant, like feeling when you're speaking to somebody. And back then, the absolute insane story is that, like they made us, there is a theory, which I believe, by the way, is true, but, like there's a shift, like 9-hour shift, right?
Yeah.
They made us stand every last 15 minutes of each hour, because the theory is that if you're standing, you're actually not like speaking better, performing better, you're like more focused. If this is the question when you can actually understand, like, if you have a very important call yourself, right? Sometimes you may not even notice it, but you're standing and walking, like back and forth.
Sure. Yeah.
This was the idea, like
human nature.
So they actually made us do this. Now, 10 years ago, like, thank God this period's over, right? 10 years ago, the market shifted as well. Industry shifted. But we got CRMs, we got dialers, we got some kind of optimization already. But what happened next is the fact that calls were still 90% of all of the like contact forms with the leads, with clients. Now, switching to 5 years ago, this is the boom of other ways of communication, AI chat, like messenger specifically in the regions like MENA, like LATAM, this is now we can understand that it's not calls is only one channel.
Yeah.
We have much more now, and all of them needs to be used. But brokerage business is a hard business to be implementing all this kind of stuff. Like we got to be very careful, straightforward with it, and that's why the more the omnichannel itself is, the more channels you have, the better the performance.
Sure.
But now what is going on? I would say that in terms of the titles, it's a conversion agent, retention agent. Still, of course, it's not presented to the client. They're still, like say, I'm the expert. I'm helping out, and there are many names on it. But in reality, it's like a conversion and retention agent. But the word call center is no longer reliable. Is no longer something that exists. It's not call centers. It's conversion floors. This is how I would call it. Conversion floor. It's actually when the managers are not only taking the time there to check the performance or track or monitor how the calls are going. It's actually like this. They should have a tool that unifies everything into one with all of the rules by the brokerage operations business. Like, so some information needs to be hidden from the agents. Some information needs to be forbidden. Something needs to be tracked. Very, very different ways of how it can be done. This is what I believe what we have on the market right now.
Again, I think you make a lot of really great points. The thing you said about having to stand for the last 15 minutes of every hour, that sounds sort of like a Wolf of Wall Street style type of stuff. You know what I mean? Guys, get up. Let's go. Let's go.
Like it was insane. It was like, imagine 100 people sitting in the office, like Bloomberg or investing, screaming from different places, different monitors. And the vibe was absolutely insane. Like I watched the Wolf of Wall Street absolutely differently from the like 99.9% of all of the people who watched it. It was, of course, I mean, it's exaggerating. I mean, it's not everything was on the movie is life, of course. But the vibe, yes, the vibe. So you work hard, like they teach you how to be a salesman. You are. This is something that every hour, every day of there, you had a training for 1 hour of what is the actually fintech is, what the brokerage operations are, and the second part is basically how to sell. If you and friends and we're going on a walk and you want to have a steak and I want to have a sushi, and as a result we are eating sushi, I sold. This is a lifestyle. They put it inside your head, like
of course.
How it goes.
My colleagues back then also had lots of different sales strategies in terms of what they would say on the phone, how they would present things, and stuff like that. So that's a whole nother conversation. That's not for today. So I speak to a lot of guests within our industry, let's say people who are in executive positions at brokerages, but then also fintechs. And it seems to me, I think you'll agree. I mean, brokers, what do they invest in, let's say right off the bat, if they're launching, or if they're, let's say, major players already for a long time? To me, I feel like they're always investing in trading platforms. They're always investing in what I would call liquidity infrastructure. But then I never hear anyone speak about, again, retention centers, communication centers, this kind of stuff. Why do you think that this critical part of brokerage operations often just gets overlooked?
You're absolutely right on the fact that we can understand this is fintech, this is financial technology,
Mhm.
this is brokerage operation. This is what do brokers sell? They sell liquidity, they sell spreads, they sell execution, they sell the platforms. Of course, this is something they're going to be investing in. But you're also right on the fact that they're missing the understanding that communication is very, very important, and it needs to be, like a lot of attention needs to be paid to the tools, to the ways, to the processes, communications. And in here, I think this is a very, very important point to understand that now in the market, there are no broker-specific tools, but we have Calleague. Calleague built strictly for brokerage operation. It means that, it's not a call center tool where we're saying that there is a number of leads, number of agents, and they call. We help them call. No, we are following the logic of a broker. So we do know that there are going to be multi-branding, right? A number of brands. Number of desks can be working with a number of these brands with different campaigns, with different. There are agents, there are managers. They all should be aligned. The whole scheme of how brokers operate with the departments is much more complicated than it's rather than a flower shop, or a bakery shop. It's different, and the fact that we've built our business logic, our backend, following the same thing. Calleague can be used as a standalone platform for calling, or Calleague can be used as an addendum to any broker CRM. So it means that this is like a complete external portal for retention and conversion managers. And this is very, very important, because what we are doing is we are actually covering, we're not saying that they need to change something. We're saying that they've come to optimize.
Right.
That you are actually, your logic, your teams, you don't work with campaigns. You don't need to manually go to a specific dialer, add manually, this is insane to me that people still do this. Exactly. They do a manually import number of leads, then they are manually assigned to some of the desks or managers or agents. I'm sorry. All this needs to be automated.
I agree.
All this needs to be, we gotta remember that agents need to talk, needs to call. Everything else needs to be done automatically. That's why, we have a rule engine that follows the whole logic, the whole sequence. Each lead has a rank. So the system helps identify which client, which lead is most likely to, to make an action that is required to become a customer. It's it's life changing. It's full automation when the agents don't need to look at anything rather than calling.
Yeah.
This is the idea. It's built for all of the brokerage communication related structure. Agents, they auto assign to anything, no manual clicks. Managers are made strictly for monitoring of how the performance is going, to help the agents and things like this. Now, the way that one of the problems is still the answer rate, right? The answer rate is something that needs to be monitored. That's this is also, we pointed out already, a good example of what if your telephony line is down? Do you want to spend X hours waiting? No, of course you're not. So what we do, we're allowing to connect as many telephony lines, as many SIP trunks, as many voice over IP, providers as can. We are orchestrating this whole thing. We are making sure that our clients, brokers, they are actually managing this whole thing. It's this is the most important part. This is what we do at Calleague. This is how we optimize things.
When you just said all of these things, I'm on the one hand, I wanted to sort of make a joke and say that you are basically pooling liquidity. Pulling voice over IP liquidity into a system, you know what I mean? Because it's just like pricing, right? If you have one source of pricing and your LP goes down, guess what? Your clients can't trade. Here, it's the same thing. You can't make calls. If you can't make calls, you're shit out of luck. It's okay. We can curse here. But the other thing I thought as you were speaking is, in terms of data centers and everything like that, I think the recent events in the Middle East, and God forbid they continue, kind of illustrate, hey, a drone can fly into a data center and all of your communications and all of your connectivity, whether it's, again, communication with your clients or even trading connectivity, could be down. I know of cases that happened several months ago, right? With what happened. So I think speaking about that today is very, very important, because that's the reality of today's world, right?
You gotta be ready. No matter what, there are so many things that can happen internally, externally. Some of them that are dependent on what humans do, some not. It doesn't matter. What the point should be, what the purpose should be, is that we gotta make sure that no matter what happens, the operation continues.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is the idea.
absolutely redundancies and disaster recovery. and all that.
Exactly.
So I wanted to ask you, so when you and a colleague speak to brokers, what kind of, let's say, operational or management problems are they trying to solve when they start speaking to you? Because I'm sure I can understand your sales pitch, you know what I mean, when you come to them, but I'm thinking that once you start speaking with them, things start popping into their head and they're like, oh, wait, hey,
Yeah.
wait, so this thing solves that? This thing that I've thought about all this time but didn't really have time to focus on and things like that. So what are they sort of telling you behind the scenes? Don't have to reveal any secrets or anything like that. But what operational and management challenges are they trying to solve?
You see, first of all, it's there are cases when don't even know that something can be better. So you see, they got used to the fact that, okay, this is an external platform, it works like this, and nothing can be changed. But everything's evolving. Everything's evolving. And by the time I explain that Calleague is a combination of two products, this is like the messaging, like native messaging that can be implemented even inside the CRM, that can be used separately altogether. And this is the Calleague communication control platform. Every time I explain all the features and how it works, that, like now, on average, each broker has from 4 to like 8 on average voice over IP providers.
Wow.
It's true. I mean, it's if something like this, what I'm saying, if for whatever reason lines down, they're switching it, but the process of switching is insane, because the setup of each of the even there is a thing called rule engine. This is the mechanism, the machine that identifies to which lead group lead should
Just
go.
send, right?
Exactly. Like this is the engine that actually identifies how the operations work and whether, and they're all on different level, and they're all separate. So there is one provider, it has a setup like this, and the other one has a better or worse. And you cannot, like that's why they stick with one, but sticking with one means that there you have a constant answer rate. What we're allowing to do is, what I'm saying is that you cannot limit yourself to one. You can connect all the same providers into one. You can monitor, you can route, you can we have a parameter called distribution. This is exactly the thing. What I'm saying is gonna manage the conversion and answer rate.
Okay.
So if you see, for example, that we got a lead group of leads from whatever country, and we have like 3 providers, 3 telephony lines from different providers to call to this country. And we are live showing the actual result of the answer rate here is like this, here like this. And if you see that there is like one, specifically today, it's like we're speaking about hours or days only.
Yeah.
Specifically today, there is an X provider who is performing better. You just click and switch that 90% of all of the outbound calls are going to be happening through this one. So that this is the increase of the efficiency.
Yeah.
And this increase of the efficiency brings us to the increase of money getting, money flow.
Right. Yeah.
And by the time I explain this, it's actually, I absolutely love this whole thing. It's considered in the business that
they're all surprised. Right?
Exactly. They're like,
what?
Look, if it's working like this,
What do you mean?
we give us a try. We want to see. We want to. This is the beauty. So like it's something that nobody really knows how the current setup is set, how the providers work, and we are here to make sure that it's changed. It's in the past.
Yeah. Again, when you're telling me about this, let's say you can connect 4, 8 different voice over IP providers into one funnel, distributed. You can look at, okay, last week, this provider was performing better in terms of, I'm not getting, the technical details better, the technical terminology better than I do, but what I mean, dropped calls, doesn't go through, etc. And I'm remembering my old days as well. Like, the phone line is there, it's working. It's just that when I'm dialing to that particular country code, something's happening. I get a static signal, and it drops off all the time. And you're right. You mentioned this previously. Nobody has an answer for it, because your line manager or even someone above him is not going to have an answer. He has to call IT, or whoever else, right? And they'll say, okay, did you try rebooting your phone? Right?
Like works with computers, with printers.
Exactly. Did you try rebooting?
We
the
gotta
device?
understand in the industry, especially in the fintech, that like we're evolving, and now we don't need call center tools. We need a system. We need a system that controls the communication layer on the infrastructural level, so that it's fully set. Everything that is anyhow related to communication in terms of calls, messaging, emails should be in one platform. Should be easily connected. Should be easily trackable and manageable. This is as simple as this. Ideally, the idea behind Calleague is what we do are the three easy topics. We're making sure that they're spending less money on the operational costs. They are making more money because of the fact that now it's actually something that is traceable. The answer rate, the conversion rate, everything is now. And we're increasing the efficiency. By the time that we're reducing clicks, like there's a metric in the product management. For example, I have a lot of experience in product management, which we track the success from point A. I want to register, to I'm register. How many clicks did we have? This is like also the operational cost in terms of time, for the agents.
Yeah.
It's insane. Like the less clicks you have, the better. This is let the agents be focused on what's important. Simplify the life. You're gonna see the results in 1 month. That's as simple as this.
Yeah, makes total sense. I wanted to actually take a step back and talk about voice over IP again, because you have a lot of experience probably working with different voice over IP providers.
Yeah.
It seems to me that space itself, or that niche, I guess you can call it, is also becoming very, very competitive. I would think that there's sort of legacy companies that have provided voice over IP for many, many companies for many, many years, right? Because it's not something that's a new technology, so to say. But at the same time, at industry conferences and things like that, I see more and more companies popping up that are, that's exactly what they're offering. And from my perspective, us having a lot of experience in the industry, I would say, okay, they're probably very cutthroat now. They're trying to compete on price and things like that.
Exactly.
But I guess my question is, when you are working with colleagues, clients, and when you're speaking individually or working with these voice over IP providers who you need to integrate for your customers, kind of where do you see the differentiation there? Because, okay, a better price might not mean a better service. And when we say better service in terms of voice over IP, what does that actually really mean? Is it what we just sort of mentioned, like dropped calls, something like that? Or is it ease of integration? Kind of like, how does that all work? Because to me, I'm a layperson and all that kind of more technical kind of stuff.
Look, this is a good question, but there is something that you're saying wrong. And I'm going to explain.
Okay.
You see, Calleague, we're saying that we're doing the orchestration. We're not a VoIP ourselves.
I know.
We are a communication control platform. We're making sure that there is a maximum efficiency in the operations. Now, you're saying we have to integrate the VoIPs. We don't. That's the beauty. Imagine that you're a broker and you're now we have a client who used to use 17 voice over IP providers. Good luck. God bless.
But he was using them individually in the rudimentary ways that we discussed before, right?
Yeah, exactly. They have.
Hold on, I got to switch it over.
Exactly. They have their retention agents used to have 15, 10 different applications.
Understood. Phones. Understood.
I mean, the floor managers are in heaven now. Yes. I have no idea how it's technically possible.
Yeah.
This is definitely not what I wanted to do. And the idea is that imagine that you're broken, you have 8. All right. What I'm coming to you and saying, look, you're now having 8 different providers. I don't understand why. Sometimes some of them are for specific countries.
Okay.
Some of them are just a backup. And what I'm saying to you is you don't need, now you see what you're paying for the PBXs, for the soft phones, for the user seats, for the minutes, for the trunks. That's a number of lists and you're paying to each. They hold different pricing models, but the idea is very simple. And I'm coming to you and saying that you don't need to pay to the most of these services.
Okay.
There is us. There is Calleague.
Okay.
And Calleague, what we do is we take the same SIP trunks that you are now using from these 8 providers. We're just connecting them. We don't need to be integrated. They're just connected. We just put the username, last name. There's number of parameters, and they're immediately connected. And that's, you see, this is the simplicity.
I guess, Arthur, you misunderstood me, and I probably didn't say it right, but that's what I meant. The kind of like you go to them and you're like, well, you don't have to have this. They don't need to be standalone. We have a system where, again, we just easily, it's already integrated. You just basically log in and you're like, okay, VoIP provider 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and like you just said, I already have an account there, so I log in, okay, check, test the connection, boom, and then I can basically change it in real time. But I guess my question to you was, these VoIP providers, right? At a certain point, it's already integrated into Calleague, right? But then when in terms of their individual niche service, kind of, what do brokers need to look out for? Let's say they're just using one today, right? And they want to integrate, they want to use Calleague, and they're like, okay, Arthur, we need help. We need a few, let's say 1 or 2 backups, and then we want to expand, like you said, also, let's say into a region of the world where, again, there's issues with, let's say, larger VoIPs out there, and this is more regional. Kind of like, what do you tell them from your experience? Kind of like, okay, well, this is what you should look out for when you're choosing a VoIP.
You see, as long as something, what we do at Calleague, I can proudly say this is a revolutionary things. Right? We are bringing new approaches where, first of all, you see, but this is also, I would say, a difficult part, because by the time I speak to somebody, I point out these things, I explain to them how it works, how they work right now, and and after they realize, now we start actually, like, okay, so it can be working like this. So it's like it's our safe. They're like, yes, exactly. They're like, okay, but what providers do I need to pick? What do I need to do? It's like, we are openly saying that, first of all, we take, if you have 1, if you have 10, it doesn't matter. We can, I mean, it's you who actually, we give you the platform, and you, within a couple of clicks, you are adding them all together. It's what you can do. But also, if you're looking for a reliable partner whom we trust, whom we can recommend, we have a list of partners. This is exactly what we do, and it works. Like, it works perfectly. So that's why we are coming prepared. We are coming to say that we're not only giving you and you set up the way you want it. We help you. We are onboarding you. We are suggesting and giving you answers on how it can be done. This is the beauty of it. This is like 360 service. We're not just saying that we are there and you try to reach us. We help you. We help you on board. We set the rule engine for you. We ask you questions. We try to understand what is the way of how do you currently use your departments, your sales departments, and we are following the logic, and then it's like it actually works, and the clients are actually happy.
Yeah, no, I'm sure that is the case, because again, I've not seen any other companies that are doing what you're doing. Again, rudimentary stuff, meaning like things that are split into different silos, different companies offering different things, VoIP, CRM, et cetera, but it all doesn't come together. Or at least before you and I started chatting today, to me, I was like, that's probably all within these CRM systems. Again, because there's so many of them out there, right? That are being sold today and being used by brokers today. I guess in speaking also about your own personal experience, I mean, you, like I worked in, let's call them a call center environment, but you probably worked in that environment. You have more experience than I do. What lessons did you learn there that you now applied to Calleague and building out Calleague in terms of automations, workflows, and things like that? Maybe there's some specific stories that you can share with our audience that kind of, again, back then, maybe it was frustration, maybe it was something that you didn't necessarily think about as something that could be a business idea later on down the road. But as you, let's say, matured and things like that, you're like, wait, that I know I can make a solution for that particular problem.
This was my first job, right? So I just wanted to know, how does it work? I just wanted to understand. I wanted to get into the brokerage business, and this was the way. And I agreed. And but even 15 years ago, and now, and it was gonna be in the future, there are the same things that matters. It's the number of successes that you have, number of conversions, right? It's like whether formerly to customer, what in the same KPIs. So back then I had to make 300 calls a day, and my total call time after we got some kind of system that tracks call recordings, my call time was supposed to be more than 3 hours a day. Until you finish, you cannot leave. Like that's the rule.
I remember those days.
Exactly. Now, what I was, like, it's very important because, like I said, if there is no unified system, like all these 3 hours making calls was not the only part. Because once I called you, I spoke to you, I feel like I can close you up. After I finish the call, I'm not immediately calling to somebody else. I'm going to my Excel, personally made by me, like I'm 18 years old, like, and I was like, oh, I just spoke very good talk, I believe. And, it's the operational cost. It was always the problem. It was, like, and it was, this is on the engine level. It was the problem. It is the problem still. Now, for the managers, right? Managers, they are team leaders. They are floor managers as well. There are many names for it. What they do is they make sure that everything is aligned. They make sure that everybody is operating in the way the agent should be operating, that all of the systems are up. What I'm trying to say is basically, even after I switched, like I've started building the CRM providers, I started building, CRM platforms, trading platforms, working for a broker in different roles. I still was looking back, like at how the communication stack is going on, what's in there. And same things, yes, more tools, but the KPIs and the results are still the same. And, like I wouldn't say that even when I was on my first job, I would immediately understand that one day I'm going to be sitting here explaining that, this whole thing can work like this. But I'm pretty sure that if I had a system like this back then, the whole industry standards would be different. That's the idea. So all of these operations that I had to do in parallel with my main job, which was calling. This is something that I needed. I was always trying how to optimize, and Excel was the only option for me back then. And you see, this is it. This is how, like from many years ahead. Right now we're sitting here, and I'm telling you that you don't need to do this anymore. So all of the problems, all of the bottlenecks, all of the painful points, like in the day, like of what I was supposed to and what's not supposed to do, they are a result of what the Calleague is. A complete system that covers everything, every brokerage operations that, like is simplified. The idea, what I'm saying is, remember, by the time we spoke about the integrations, and now if we take it just any provider with the PBX system or like a dialer, when they're speaking about the integrations, what they do is they are providing a click to call to the CRM. So like I told, like pick a provider and you call.
Functionality.
By the time we're speaking about two-side integration, like every time a new brand is added to the CRM, it's immediately reflected on the Calleague side. Every time a new desk is created, bam. Every time I spoke to you and I changed your status or left a comment, it's immediate. This is a live transition.
It's integrated.
This is what integration should be like.
Agreed.
This is the reason why all of those especially conversion agents, they don't need to be part of the CRM. They are part of the Calleague right now, which is a complete conversion portal, like fully integrated. It's not even a second. It's live. You see, it's immediate data switching. And that is why the so-called speed to lead is at its maximum. It takes seconds until somebody actually calls the one lead who has just registered.
Right.
That's the idea.
That's very. I think that's all sort of taking shape and coming to light for me now. And you're absolutely right. I had the same feelings of excitement when I was like, oh, I'm going to probably close this client, but I have to go make some notes. And then I also have to send the client a follow-up email to tell them, hey, it was great speaking with you, et cetera, et cetera. Then I have to go into my calendar, put a note to contact this person again in a few days, let's say. Again,
no reminders, nothing. Manual work.
Manual work. And it doesn't seem like that to me anymore. I now understand that a lot of retention agents and a lot of companies are still working the same way today. Okay, maybe it's a little bit more automated, but at the same time, it's still very rudimentary. Bum, 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 bum. And that 2, 3, 5 minutes on each contact, that adds up every day.
Exactly.
And I'm pretty sure that the call requirements and however many minutes you spoke to people obviously still makes sense, is important today. It's part of performance metrics for all these
Sure.
people. So definitely very cool. Definitely very, very cool. I wanted to switch gears a little bit before we wrap up. These are hot topics, clickbait keywords,
Okay.
AI, automation, machine learning. Okay, I mean we can't escape it. It's all over where it's everywhere. It's part of our lives now.
Yeah.
And I mentioned in the very beginning, AI chatbots. Again, many global brands use that today. You go on any website, really, if there used to be a live agent, now it's an AI chatbot first. That's sort of like the barrier there before you actually maybe get to a human being, maybe not. It
Hmm.
depends. But I guess from your perspective and colleague functionality and sort of where you see the future going with respect to the development of your technology, but then also I think even the public's perception, investors' perception of what they want, what they need. What do you think in terms of communication? What do you think is going to get automated? And at the same time, what do you think ultimately will still stay natively human in terms of, human communication and human judgment? I think that's a very important point
Okay.
that I wanted to make. Kind of how do you see these things playing out, 5, 10 years from now?
First of all, this is a very, very good question, and I myself, I'm a huge fan of like AI, and we try to within my companies,
Mm-hmm.
what we do is make sure that like everything is automated to the maximum.
Mm-hmm.
Now, speaking about the industry, about the communicational layer for the brokers, I think we should cover two topics.
Mm-hmm.
Let's call them internal AI and external AI.
Okay.
Internal AI is something that helps managers and agents
Mm-hmm.
within their day-to-day work.
Yeah.
This is something that we are working on at Calleague.
Mm-hmm.
We are making sure that they're like AI summaries, AI scripts, AI um, anti-spam, like detectioning. All this is something that we are actually working on. This is something that's going to be developed in the upcoming future, in the next releases. This is something that is actually helping, right? Because there are still operations like a quick summary of the call so that it makes sure that the agent doesn't spend a single second on the comment,
Mm-hmm.
which are still a very big part of the operational stack, like on the day-to-day operations. This is very, very important. Of
Mhm.
course, this is something we support, that we deliver based on the actual requests. The other thing is the external AI. What do I mean by it? Is basically we gotta understand that there is a certain level of the possibilities of the AI
Mhm.
where we are saying word agents, right?
Yeah.
By the same agents, we mean sellers. But there are also AI agents. You can
Mhm.
hear it from every jar right now. Like
Right.
yes,
Yeah.
I automated everything with my, here's the list of what I use. Yes, and there are, I believe this is the future as well.
Mhm.
There are many, many things that can be automated with AI agents. Imagine, for example, and this is something also we're considering. For example, there is an absolutely beautiful high-tech company called Calleague AI.
Mhm.
The guys are partners of ours, and the guys do absolutely great things in terms of they're providing the actual possibility of AI agents to do the calling and replying and everything.
Mhm.
Um for the also for the fintech market as well.
Uh-huh.
And of course, it's not even, I don't have a doubt that it's not all going to be replaced like 100%, right? So the humans are still going to be, like doing the main part, especially with hot leads and things like this.
Yeah.
But imagine how beautifully can your processes be optimized if this is a combination of AI agents and actual agents working together.
Mhm.
For example, like the way there is a progressive dialer. Progressive dialer is a technology when I am available right now and I'm calling to a number of leads at the same time, so that whoever picks up first, I'm getting contacted.
Uh-huh.
And if the other person who I'm busy right now, the other person also picked up, what do? They listen to the music. Is it
That's
how
not nice. Yeah.
Ex-
It's not a good experience.
exactly? Now imagine that while I'm busy, there is an AI agent that speaks brilliantly. Like
Mhm.
I don't think I'll ever be able to speak like this. It
Mhm.
has facts and arguments, and it's trained. It's
Mhm.
the model is trained perfectly for the cold calling or some kind of support. Or another thing, imagine that you have a lease from 10 years old, like for those you forgot about, and then something that there is a specific lead group that can be added, and you don't want your engines to spend time on it because you have new ones. You just send them directly to the AI agents. They are being speaking, and by the time there is a need there is a potential, they are sending like this specific lead back to the actual human. So this is something that definitely should be there. This is how the market is going to be shifting, and we are ready for it. And I wouldn't. It's not now. It's only in the it's where it's going.
In its infancy, sort of.
Oh no, it's going very slow. But once people understand that what possibilities can be if you got a system like Calleague and you add AI agents to it, boom, But at the same time, I have to agree on the fact. I have to point out that fintech isn't the most the easiest industry to be shifted to the AI automation easily.
I guess, yeah.
I wouldn't say that. I would say that this transition to actual proper AI implementation and on reducing costs, operational resources, and things like this is going to take up to 5 years for sure.
Makes sense, yeah. It's because it's complex products that are sold in our industry in terms of the end users and the end clients at the end of the day. And I think you make some great points, and I think ultimately the adoption of this from the customer side is going to depend on the quality of the actual communications. Like you said, it's an AI voice speaking, saying things. I'm sure that these AI models, if we can call them that, can be trained on individual speakers. So let's say you and me are working there. That AI model will ask you and I to but for, let's say, half an hour, it will write things out. We'll have to read those things. It catches up on our pronunciation and things like that. I think literally creates you, like a clone of you in terms of your voice and the way your demeanor on the phone and things like that. And then at that point, I think that may be an ethical thing, and that's a whole nother discussion as well. We're not going to touch upon that today. But then it's kind of, you know what I mean? It's kind of did I really actually speak to Arthur just now, or was that the virtual Arthur?
Exactly.
I'm not sure. But at the end of the day, for our intensive purposes in terms of communications with clients, with leads and things like that, I think we can agree that if it's a customer who needs help with understanding how margin works, the retention agent can be doing other things, and you could have the AI agent essentially speak to them, and that AI agent or AI tool can have predetermined responses. So was my explanation helpful? No. Okay, that's fine. Let's go dig deeper into this. Let me try to explain margin requirements to you in another way, right? And then have a whole script of let's say content and speech to basically work with such leads. Because I think that again, looking back at my experience as well, not every client's the same. You know what I mean? Some people need a lot more time to figure things out. Some people are what we call whales, and they have lots of money, and they're like, I just want trading platform and I don't care. And I want to be able, even the whales though, they want to have someone available to speak to 24, well, they want 24/7, right? They don't want, hi, thanks for calling, please dial 1. No, they want I want to be able to reach him on his personal phone even, let's say, right? At any time, day and night, because let's say I'm trading a few yards a month with a broker, right? Okay, you know what I mean?
Sure, of course, this service needs to be provided.
Yeah.
On top of it, just you see, you're asking me a question, or I'm asking you something, or discussing something. You see, I'm like, yes, exactly. All these phrases. It's what amuses me is basically that these AI agents is a complete copy of human. They do the same thing. They ask a question, the client answers like, all these sounds. I'm like, how? And it's still, this is definitely a direction for Calleague. This is definitely a part of it in the future. It's the future is is consistent of these things. This is exactly where we're heading. It doesn't matter whether I want it or not. Of course I want. It's gonna be like this.
Okay. I guess to wrap things up, I wanted to ask you, we've talked about the future a lot today as well, but in terms of how brokers manage sales, onboarding, even like KYC stuff that they need to do,
Yeah.
and the way their client engagement teams or the retention agents work, what do you think, looking into the future, what's going to change for them? Are they going to really change the way that they approach all of these things? Again, I know you have a solution that solves all our problems today,
Yeah.
but on the one hand, it's a matter of you basically getting in touch with all of your leads and really basically going to the market and saying, look, there's a solution out here that you can use. Do you think they internally will start to change their perceptions in the next, let's say, 5 years? Because we're moving at the speed of sound. We just talked about AI and automation and things like that. And we talked about, again, speed to lead and things like that. Are they going to take notice? Or are you just going to stand and shout from the mountaintops?
You see, the truth is, what surprises me, I'm actually still surprised by why nobody else has developed a platform like ours.
Uh-huh.
It's, you see, we're not doing chips, neurochips in the brain, but we are actually solving a big piece of operations that are, like that are dependent, that are a part of the success, a process of success, of the formula of success. And yes, I believe that first of all, there'll be word of mouth, 100%. But even if Calleague didn't exist, this is something, like now where more and more things are becoming clearer. Now, when we understand that there are more ways of what can be optimized and how, at some point, the brokers would understand that there is a bottleneck in the communication. There is something we need to do. But if you want to know my projection for the next 2-3 years, I'm gonna tell you the following. Now, a broker cannot exist without a website, trading platform, CRM, and the client area. Broker can exist without a specific broker-built communication platform. In 2-3 years, there will be no broker without Calleague, without the conversion portal, without all of the possibilities that we're bringing into the table. That's the future. That's exactly where we're headed. Exactly what we'll do.
Cool. Very cool. Very, very cool. Thanks for coming on our show and giving us this eye-opening sort of experience. No, really, because I haven't done. Hi, my name is Nikolai. I'm calling from XYZ. I haven't done that in many, many years. But again, I know people who still manage teams that manage call centers. Again, whatever we want to call them, communication centers, communication departments, customer support departments, things like that. And ultimately, I kind of it's the end of our show. We're wrapping up. I'm kind of thinking about all of these people, and I'm kind of I hope things improve and automate, because at the end of the day, it kind of sucks in a way. They have metrics that they need to meet on a daily basis, weekly and monthly basis, especially if there's a sales component to their work, and not just, let's say, retention and trading volume. And it's kind of at the end of the day, I mean, their companies should provide them with something that optimizes their work, so they spend more time doing what can generate them. It generates the broker revenue. It generates them a commission, right? And as they say in movies, we all have to eat, right?
True.
So at the end of the day, kind of hopefully all of this moves in the trajectory that you spoke about a lot today. So I wanted to thank you for coming by. It's a very busy time of year for all of us. It's very sunny and nice in Limassol, but we're all very, very busy. So thanks again for coming and joining us on our show. I look forward to actually speaking to you more in the future, because I think you have a lot of very important things to say. And I think you and I have a lot of off-the-record stories that you could share about our times at working,
of course,
selling, talking to customers and things like that. So thanks for coming.
Thank you very much.